The Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada makes its annual stop in Ottawa for the National Capital Open to support our troops, where the past and present unite for a great cause. And the 9th champion of the season is crowned. All that and more next. This is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada. There's no doubt that this season on the Mackenzie Tour has been marked by parity. Thus far, 7 of the 8 events have been won by first-timers, and of those champions, 4 were under the age of 25, including Mackenzie Tour rookie Lee McCoy. The 23-year-olds posted 2 top 10s, including a victory at the Freedom 55 Financial Open, and he currently ranks 6th on the Order of Merit.
It makes such a huge difference to get out to a good start, I heard, because the season's relatively short, and if you don't make any money in the first 4 or 5 events, you got your back up against the wall and you have to win. Trying to win when you have to win is so hard.
With so many different champions, it's a tight race for the coveted top 5 spots, and players have but one goal in mind.
We're here to win, we're here to compete, and we're here to make the 5. Ideally, you want to be number 1, but the 5 would be ideal as well.
It's just a process. You go through here, you try to get to the web. From there, you try to get the PGA Tour. You're just trying to get to the next level.
That's the goal. At the end of the day, our dream is to play on the PGA Tour. The next step to get closer to that dream is the Web.com Tour. I want to do everything I can to secure a spot in those top 5.
With only 4 events remaining on the schedule, we kick off the home stretch here at the National Capital Open to support our troops in scenic Ottawa, Ontario. Round 1 of the National Capital Open to support our troops features some familiar names atop the leaderboard. Some are in search of a breakthrough victory, while others are looking to hoist trophy number 2. Florida's Jared Hack leads the charge for those looking for that signature win. The 27-year-old cards 8 birdies to just 1 bogey for a 7-under-64 and a 1-stroke lead.
Just stay patient, man. I know I've said that a lot this year, but I kind of had a rough weekend last weekend. Just wanted to learn from that. Obviously, when you shoot 64, you're not trying to, it just kind of happens.
After 2 T3 finishes already this season, Hack has the firepower to contend, but still felt the need to change up his putting grip.
I switched to crosshand for today. Putter's been a little bulky this whole season, so just trying to find something to kind of believe in and feel like it's consistent. I made some nice putts today that I definitely haven't been making, and they went in with some conviction, so it's nice to see that.
Already a winner this season, 25-year-old Kramer Hickok manages 6 birdies to just 1 bogey for an opening 65 and a share of 2nd alongside Kentucky's Mark Blakefield and BC's Jared Dutois. The Arizona State University standout cards 8 birdies and 2 bogeys to climb into the hunt. Dutois turned professional this year and earned status by placing inside the top 60 on the Order of Merit through the first reshuffle. But after finishing in a tie for 9th at the 2016 RBC Canadian Open, the 22-year-old is carrying the banner for the next generation of Canadian golf, a weight that he seems to carry pretty well.
My time will come, you know, if it's this week, great. If it's, you know, a year from now, great. If it never comes, who knows? One of the things I focus on is trying to stay patient, and, you know, I'll do my best to string 4 good rounds together.
With 3 more rounds to go, there are 26 players within 3 shots of the lead. Up next on This is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada. Patrick Newcomb talks about his phenomenal season on 2 different continents.
It's been a cool experience to realize that I've won up here and down in Latin America.
And then we kick off the 2nd round of competition at the National Capital Open to support our troops. All that and more after the break. This is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada.
Welcome to Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, and the National Capital Open to support our troops. I'm Adam Stanley. I'm a writer with PGATour.com, and I'm lucky enough to be joined by 5 of the players from the Mackenzie Tour here. It's a good day. It should be a lot of fun. Come on, guys. Let's go.
Before the start of competition, Mackenzie Tour players Grayson Sigg, Scott Wolves, Caleb Sturgeon, Sean Kelly, and John Jonas found themselves talking politics on Parliament Hill as they ventured outside the ropes to take in the sights in Ottawa.
So Ottawa obviously is Canada's capital. We've got Centre Block right here. It was built in the late 1800s, and then a big fire in 1916 ruined the whole thing. So they built this actual building, the Peace Tower, in 1927. So it's been around for a while. It houses our big library back there. This is where our House of Commons is, our Senate. So this is basically our White House.
Just across the bay, the players said bonjour to Ontario's neighbors.
We are in Ontario right now, but over there, that's Quebec. The museum with the little humps over there, that's the Civilization Museum. Over here is the Art Gallery of Canada, over to the right, sort of the glass-looking building.
After taking in all the history, the players made their way down to the Rideau Canal, which doubles as a skating rink in the winter.
It's like 10 kilometers long, and it goes from here all the way down past Carleton, past the university that I went to, and then into this place called Dow's Lake, where it all collects again. So you could skate the whole way. A lot of people skate to work because they'll live sort of down the way, and then they'll skate all the way up here and take their skates off.
But what's a trip to Ottawa without trying out some local favorites?
Beaver tail is a whole cracked wheat pastry dough that we're gonna cook up, and we're gonna top off with whatever toppings you like.
The sweet is the way to go.
It's phenomenal.
And with sweet treats in hand, the players wrapped up their Ottawa excursion and headed back to Highlands Golf Club. Patrick Newcomb is having a phenomenal season. Just before we landed in Canada, Newcomb was busy making his mark on PGA Tour Latino America, where he earned a top 5 finish at the Puerto Plata DR Open and a title in Honduras at the Honduras Open presented by Injera Beach and Golf Resort. Carrying that momentum north to the Mackenzie Tour, the 27-year-old posted a T6 finish at the Players' Cup and followed it up with a victory at the Syncrude Oil Country Championship presented by Acon, becoming the first player ever to win on both tours.
It was more of a relief when I won, because that was the whole point of coming up here, was to try to get a win. And you know, in this sprint format, 12 events, that you just have to go out and you have to win one. And so it was nice to get that done. It's been a cool experience to realize that I've won up here and down in Latin America.
That success has propelled him into the top 10 on both the Mackenzie Tour and PGA Tour Latino America Order of Merits. Hopping from tour to tour can take its toll on any player, but Newcomb found familiarity in Canada.
This is what I grew up on. I grew up on bent grass. I grew up on tight driving holes. You know, very difficult placement of the greens and the green complexes. Up here, it was like I was going home, which was nice.
And Newcomb knows there's one way to maintain his success during the season.
For me, it's about being rested and being mentally prepared more than it is the physical game, because there's plenty of times where you haven't been playing well or your game's not that good and you show up and you win. That's just golf. That's how it is. So it's more about being rested and feeling good when you go out there and just let your game take over.
With the season winding down on the Mackenzie Tour, the goal is clear. And Newcomb has a plan to finish strong.
You just kind of want to catch your momentum, and it's a lot really fast, and it's your whole season. So it's really just about trying to catch one of those 3 or 4 week stretches and get some momentum on those and finish really high, have a chance to win, and you know, that's what puts you on the web.
Canadian Jared Dutois follows up his opening 65 with a 69 in the second round of the National Capital Open to support our troops. The 22-year-old Golf Canada national team member enters the weekend 3 shots off the lead after posting 4 birdies and 2 bogeys on day 2. Another Canadian, Quebec's Raoul Ménard, also finds himself in the hunt at day's end. The 25-year-old first-year Mackenzie Tour member birdies his final 2 holes of the day to climb into a share of the lead alongside Mark Blakefield and Kramer Hickok. Hickok, the Players' Cup champion and the only member of the 5 inside the top 10 after 2 rounds of play, carded 6 birdies for a second round 66.
The game feels really good. A couple of things I wanted to work on the last couple of weeks with my putting and speed control. It's still a little off, but I'm starting to make the 8 to 12 footers that I was missing. I've been hitting it really well these last few weeks, and I just haven't really been able to capitalize, which has kind of led me to being a little impatient on the greens. This week I just stayed patient and had a couple putts drop, just kind of realizing that par is still a good score and attacking when you get the opportunities.
Mark Blakefield carded 6 birdies to just 1 bogey for a 5 under 66 in round 2. The 35-year-old has made 5 of 7 cuts this year, including a season-best T11 finish at the Stahl Foundation Open presented by T-Baytel. Meanwhile, first-round leader Jared Hack is stuck in neutral, posting an even par 71, which drops him back into a tie for 15th. Coming up after the break, it's moving day at the National Capital Open to support our troops. But first,
100% of what's donated to Soldier On goes back to what we're trying to do and supporting the men and women who serve this country.
we see how one organization is working to help ill and injured servicemen and women through sport and recreation, when this is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada returns. This is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada. In 2007, the Canadian Armed Forces and Department of National Defence created Soldier On, a program which aims to help currently serving members and veterans overcome their physical or mental health illness or injury through recreation and sport. And since its inception, Soldier On has helped more than 2,200 members reconnect with life through sport.
It's about inspiring, building confidence, and motivating those who have sustained illness or injury while serving Canada, and giving them the opportunities to adapt to their new normal and carry on through the use of sport and other physical recreation activities. When you're injured, and I can speak from personal experience, you're really isolated. Like, you're not with your team anymore. You don't know if you're going to be the same person you were before. Is this temporary? Is this a long-term thing? There's lots of different emotions that folks go through. Soldier On is a program which Canadians can donate and show their support to the ill and injured members. And the key to that is we can pass on to that community that they're not alone.
Before the start of the National Capital Open to support our troops, several Soldier On participants teed it up in the Wednesday Pro-Am for a little camaraderie and a whole lot of fun.
The big thing it's meant to me is meeting, these guys and, starting, it's like a brotherhood. We all keep in touch, and it's great. We get together to golf, and just about all the guys you meet who are in the same situation, and you form a brotherhood.
At a certain point, when you have the injury, you think you're alone, and you're left alone. But meeting guys at Soldier On, we all have the same injury, or almost, and it pushes us to continue to perform.
Soldier On is an organization that's run by military members, but is sponsored by local donors from across Canada. And those funds go directly getting ill and injured veterans back into sport. So we'll get them doing things like golfing, hence why we're here today, kayaking, fishing, canoeing, biking. Can't thank Soldier On and all the sponsors around Canada that make this possible for injured soldiers like ourselves.
Canada's a big team. At the end of the day, we're all in it together.
So-and-so got the big birdie here?
Big bird!
It's unbelievable the support that they give us throughout the year, and helping out ill and injured soldiers get back on their feet. The community, it's unbelievable all the donations they give. It's just overwhelming a lot of times, and we really appreciate it as soldiers.
Two of my brothers actually are military veterans. My brother was an Army Ranger in the States, and pretty cool to be a part of something like this. And I'm all about helping veterans and getting them everything they need.
Having a partnership with the tour and a golf course like this, it really demonstrates the compassion that Canadians have for the military and the care that's extended to those who have sacrificed.
There's a new name atop the leaderboard when round 3 of the National Capital Open to support our troops draws to a close, as Charlie Danielson makes his move on a blustery moving day. The 23-year-old former University of Illinois standout jumps into the mix, birdieing 4 of his first 6 holes.
I hit a lot of shots close. I got off to a great start and just wedged some shots really close to where I didn't even have to make many putts. Getting off to a nice start out here is key, and I kind of kept it going the rest of the round.
And he closes with 8 birdies against just 1 bogey to finish with a 7-under 64 for a 1-stroke advantage over Blair Hamilton, Kramer Hickok, and Mark Blakefield.
I can't control what all the other players are doing. I just got to worry about myself. There's so many guys in double digits already, so I would expect quite a few guys to make a push tomorrow, and so I'm going to have to get off to a good start like I did today and just keep pushing.
Matching Danielson with a 64 on day 3, Ontario's Blair Hamilton climbs into the chase. Making his 12th career start on the Mackenzie Tour, the former member of Golf Canada's national amateur team drops in 9 birdies to just 2 bogeys in his lowest career round to date.
Kind of got off to a good start. It just kind of kept the momentum rolling. The wind was blowing a little harder today, so made it a little trickier in spots, but I'm pleased. It was a good way to put myself in contention, but got to keep going low tomorrow.
36-hole co-leaders Kramer Hickok and Mark Blakefield kept pace with matching 68s and find themselves just 1 shot off the lead. Hickok starts out strong, going 3 under on the front side, but stalls with bogeys at 10 and 11 and closes with an even par back 9. With a much more colorful scorecard, Blakefield also manages a 3 under total after 6 birdies, 1 eagle, and 5 bogeys on the day. While Quebec's Raoul Maynard, who also held a share of the lead at the end of round 2, struggles to a 3 over 74 on Saturday, dropping back into a tie for 27th. After the break, can Charlie Danielson hang on to win the National Capital Open to support our troops? Or will someone chase him down to take the title in Ottawa? Find out when this is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada returns. This is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada.
Hey guys, my name's Tyler McCumber. I'm from Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida, and this is Golf 101. A lot of times what I notice is when you try to chip, the hosel will catch in the ground and kind of digs, and it makes it really hard to control the contact of the ball to the club and then proceed to hit it on your intended target line. A little tip that I use when I'm chipping includes using the golf club and having it be on the ground a little more like this. So the heel is never gonna touch. It's just you're using the bounce and the toe of the club. That way it hits the ground smoothly, you can control the ball to club contact, and then progress to hit more consistent chip shots. To demonstrate this tip, I'm gonna show you what I see and then what I do, and hopefully improve your chipping. Doesn't matter what club you use. I have a 56 degree here with 14 degrees bounce, pretty standard. I use this a lot around the green, especially when I have a lot of green to land on. And what I notice is that with contact, I'll exaggerate it, but when I stand far away and I hit the ground with my club, you can see it digs, kind of turns the club over, kind of makes it hard to consistently move that club through and along the ground. But when I move up and stand a little more upright, you can see the heel of the club is off the ground. I can easily skim the top of the grass. So you stand close, you take the heel off the ground, and you stand a little bit taller. This is gonna make it a lot easier for me to control this club head through contact and allow myself to consistently hit that ball right exactly where I want it, land it where I want it, and hit my chip shots closer to the hole. And that's Golf 101.
It's a crowded leaderboard as the final round of the National Capital Open to support our troops tees off at Highlands Golf Club. Starting the day 1 stroke ahead of the pack, 54-hole leader Charlie Danielson struggles early with bogeys on 1 and 2. He makes the turn at even par, opening the door for Kramer Hickok, Mark Blakefield, and Blair Hamilton. But Kramer Hickok is stuck in neutral. The Texan cards 1 bogey and 1 birdie on his outward 9, and still sits 1 behind Charlie Danielson at 14 under. Meanwhile, Canadian Blair Hamilton is going in reverse. With 3 bogeys in his first 5 holes, he falls out of contention early and finishes with a 4 over 75 and in a tie for 19th. Kentucky native Mark Blakefield drops a stroke with a bogey at 2, but soon finds his footing in the middle of the round, closing out his front 9 with 5 consecutive birdies and a 3-stroke advantage.
played great, but the one thing was threw a few shots away with some bad up and downs, you know, that I didn't get. Hit a bunch of good shots in the next few holes and just made them all.
Danielson musters just one birdie down the stretch and closes out his tournament run with a 1 under 70 and a tie for third. Meanwhile, Hickok heats up with 4 consecutive birdies on the back 9, climbing to within 2 of Blakefield.
I had a big par save on 10 where I hit it over the green in 2 and then chipped it about 15 feet by. After that, I made 4 birdies in a row. I saw Mark out there making a move on it, so I knew I had to kind of try and put some pressure on him. Try to do that, but unfortunately fell 2 shots short.
Hickok settles for par at the 72nd hole and solo second place, while Blakefield converts a testy up and down to win by 2 strokes in just his 8th career start on the Mackenzie Tour.
It's amazing. You know, it's been a pretty slow year, so I just tried to just keep moving, you know, stay patient, just keep going, and it feels great that it finally paid off.
As this week comes to a close and the Mackenzie Tour season heads down the home stretch, the order of merit starts to take shape. Lee McCoy jumps back into the 5th spot with a top 5 finish in Ottawa, while Max Rotleff holds on to his number 4 spot after finishing T38. Robbie Shelton notches another top 5 but drops 1 spot into 3rd. Taking the week off, Johnny Ruiz also falls back a spot into 2nd, while Kramer Hickok is on the move, climbing 2 positions after a solo 2nd into the number 1 spot. Next time on This is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada, we head to Bedeque, Nova Scotia for the Cape Breton Open. Last season, Dan McCarthy cemented his spot atop the order of merit when he took home his 4th title of the season. We'll see you next time.